The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable, all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA. Hilton brings you new ways to stay. With experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to the Coaching Youth Hoops Podcast.
They're playing basketball.
Here's our hosts, Steve Collins, and Bill Flitter.
All right, welcome, Coaching Youth Hoops. Hey, I was just thinking we're going to have to do something. We're on like mid-30s here, or late 30s. So we're going to have to think of something special to do at 50 and 100. So I just thought of that. So
that's a good idea. Yeah, maybe one of the giveaways we've been talking about, maybe that'd be perfect.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, yeah, so we'll
say
keep
that
as
that
was literally, I swear on my kids' lives, we did not. This was totally off the cuff, and we were like, but I literally hit record, and I go, ooh, I was thinking what number this was, and it's like, oh, we should talk about. So 50's coming up. That'll be spring. That'll be a great time. Maybe we can do a couple giveaways. Yes. So listen, and yes. Maybe we'll add an extra entry to if they leave a review. Oh. We'll do something like that. There's a couple apps that you can do entries. Yeah. We'll talk off the air. Okay.
Love it.
What is this? What's this week's topic?
We are talking about how do you keep players engaged during practice. You have a group of whatever, doesn't matter, 3rd through 8th graders, but a lot more times it's more like the 3rd through 5th graders where you're trying to herd cats. I actually have a player on my high school team. She coaches her younger brother who's in 3rd grade along with her dad. Big clap out to Coach Marissa. I said, well, how's practice going? She came, so she had practice in the morning, and then she had our practice. She had her brother's practice and came to our practice. And I said, how's it going? And she goes, oh, it's just like herding cats. It's like, absolutely. Right. And I said, now, I said, I'm glad you're going through this. Now, even at our level, high school level, it's the same sometimes, right? Kids come in, different mindset. We just got off of exams. Semester or mid-semester exams, mid-year exams, and their mindset is just different, right? They're just like study, and then come in for exam. Or, with younger kids, they're seeing their friends and it's playtime for them. So, but you still have a job to do. How do you keep young players engaged during practice?
Yeah, first of all, that's awesome. Will be a better player. I'd say this in my stats class: the best way to learn something is teach someone else. Mm-hmm. So I said, if you know something, we're doing confidence intervals. Teach it to someone else, and you'll know it even better. But so that's awesome. Probably going to be a better player, basketball player, and helping a little brother, little sibling.
Yeah. Your brother will remember that for the rest of his life.
Yep. So the engage thing. So here, definitely herding cats. The easiest way to keep them engaged, especially at the younger level, is no lines.
Yeah.
You can't have lines. They always have to be doing something. Especially you're only practicing once or twice a week, blah, blah, blah. That's what I found out when I was like, going from, pretty high level high school coach to coaching my son's fourth grade team. It's like, oh, like this is a whole different world. So you definitely can't have lines, and you have to keep them active and moving. And it can't be all drill work or small sided game stuff, or that there has to be fun involved. I mean, not that those aren't fun, but there has to be some game based stuff that they are looking forward to. Because as a side note, you and I talked about this with attendance. One of the big things in the Facebook group is people are always talking about what happens when only have 7 people show up. Well, why aren't they showing up? Again, sometimes not within the fourth graders' control. It's in their parents' control. But if they're begging to go, the parents are probably going to get them there if they can. So that engagement and that enjoyment, I think, can help attendance a lot. That's absolutely observationally.
No, that's right on. And I think, concretely, you nailed it. Well, concretely, it's like keep your practice moving, 5 minutes. You can teach, you can add, you can have one, you literally could have one drill in practice, but the constraints and the progressions change on that drill, just so you're not teaching a new drill every time. So you could teach them, maybe how to do layups, and that's the technical part. And then you get into a layup type game, maybe one-on-one. And then they have to make so many layups in a row, right? And you just, and make contests. And but I think specifically to your game-based or games like Miss Pac-Man or Stuck in the Mud, you can Google all of these things, little games like that, just to mix it up a little bit.
I gotta ask, what's wrong with what's wrong with Pac-Man? Why does it have to be Miss Pac-Man?
I did say that. I did slip that out, didn't
I? Miss Pac-Man. I don't know. I mean, I like Pac-Man.
No, it's Pac-Man, and Miss Pac-Man if you're coaching girls. I always say
there you go.
I coach girls, so yeah.
That's funny. I 100% like you're right. It's like I'm gonna tell you from a varsity. We played yesterday, so the day before practice. Literally, I think I went my stuff that we were going through was 3 minutes max. Like we would do 2 reps of this offense, and then the defense would switch and do 2 reps of it, and then we'd switch because I had to keep them engaged, and we had multiple things that we needed to do. So I'm thinking about engagement with 15 to 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
So like I got to keep them focused and ready, and here's what we need, and these are the things we need to do, and boom, boom, boom. I refer to it as like a machine gun practice. It's like, exactly. Obviously when you're teaching things and they're learning, it's different, but I think you're right that moving is really important for engagement.
Well, and then, as you were saying that, it's really what's important.
That's your money saying it's time for a McDonald's run. Because with new McValue at McDonald's, you get more than you expect. Like buy a 6-piece McNuggets and add a McChicken for just $1. Your money says let's go. Get more than you expect with new McValue. Prices and participation may vary. Valid for item of equal or lesser value.
At the different levels, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, right? So at 3rd grade, it's a game, right? You don't have to teach them the flex offense. Get a ball in their hand, get some shooting stuff, and some basic like spacing. You know what I mean? So it's not like you shouldn't be stopping and teaching them very specific, minute things, right? And then, but as you progress, that does increase, right? And don't, instead of just lining them up and saying, okay, everybody on this baseline, left-handed pound dribbles, right-handed pound dribbles, make a game out of it, right? Get a ball in their hand, they're running around. Just search for games, right? Basketball, fun games. Actually, on our Facebook group, Coaching Youth Hoops Facebook group, I have a download you could do. I just realized I put that up early in the season.
It'll be in the file section, right?
Yeah, in the file section.
Yeah. People can never. For someone that runs 3 Facebook groups and a really big one, I'm always scolding at people, and it's like, don't put it as an attachment because it's a stream. Put it over in the files.
Yeah.
And then people can search. So when you go to the Facebook group, search under files, and then you'll see stuff in the files. So I mean, if you go to the big one, basketball coaches one that has 100,000 on it, there's all sorts of cool stuff in the file section that people have shared. So anyway, that's just so you can find that. But you're right. It's and be creative. Like, it doesn't matter as long as there's a fun little, like, who can make everybody grab a basket, who can make the first 3 layups in a row. I mean, it doesn't, as long as it's semi-competitive and fun and a game, they'll love it. They will. Exactly. It'll be fun. Yeah.
And then, don't worry about if, you're facing a team of 3rd graders that are pressing you and doing a zone and they're running, the Princeton offense. Those are flukes, right? And you're going to have them. Every league has that team that if they just collectively got 6 amazing players and they're all
their
focused.
Moms and dads are former collegiate stars.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So that's not the norm. Again, talking to 2 coaches that have, probably looking back saying, why did I do that? Like, just keep a ball in their hand, move them from one drill, the machine gun method of practice, and be creative. Like we just started, because I've been experimenting with this. We started including kind of some bonding. We call it bonding, team leadership, team just like non-basketball related stuff. I started including that in my practice plans a couple times a week. So one of the things we recently did is we had players were blindfolded and there was 3 to a group, and I gave them a string, and they had 2 minutes to put this, and the string was 4 feet long. They had to put the string in a square, and they're blindfolded, right? And there's only 3 of them. It makes it a little bit harder because you don't have the 4th one kind of holding it all out, right? And and then there was a lesson out of that, which is, how did you have to do that? What were the skills necessary to do when you couldn't see how to do it, right? And, it was communication, it was touching, because they had to know the spacing of the other player next to them and where the end of the string was. And I said, what would help you do this drill better? Oh, a 4th person. And I said, a 4th person maybe that didn't have a blindfold, like a coach, right? So, right, we see things on that, you're playing the game, we see things on the outside that could help you, right? Yes. So
I love
anyway,
that.
So I've been working on little things like that to include in practice, just to break up the monotony, but it ties back to life lessons that sports are supposed to teach you. So.
It is. I love that. All right. Anything else, Coach?
No, coaches, just keep on working hard. I think, just break up your practices a little bit, keep a ball in their hand, keep them moving. You'll be surprised. They'll go, how was practice? Card rider, how was practice? Oh my God, it was so much fun. What'd you do? We played Miss Pac-Man and we did this, right? And the kids don't know that they're not learning. They're learning through those games. So
that should be your goal on the ride home. They talk about practice. That should be your goal as the coach. Because the parents, the first thing when they get in the car is, how was practice today?
That's right.
And your goal should be that conversation happens in that car. That should be your goal. And if it is, then they've engaged and they've had fun. That should be your goal. I know. I agree. All right. Till next week, Coach.
Till next week.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.